Today on the Take Back Your Damn Life podcast, we're going to channel a little Eat, Pray, Love and talk about Dolce far niente. Hey friend, and welcome to the Take Back Your Damn Life podcast, formerly the Growth Tribe podcast, a podcast where we're all about empowering you to take back your damn life on your terms. My name's Ellen, and I'm a former science researcher turned coach. So basically, I know exactly what it's like to feel like you're living a life that's not yours, because I've been there too. Hell, sometimes I still feel like I am. I'm constantly course correcting, learning about myself, and finding new insights and tips that have helped me take back my damn life and create a life I effing love. This podcast is a place for me to share those things with you. On this podcast, you're going to learn how to get clear, confident in who you are, and get consistent and productive AF so that you feel empowered to get out of your damn head and take back your life too. Think of it like productivity, but not just for your to-do list, for your life. So with that, let's get into this episode of the Take Back Your Damn Life podcast. Hey there, friend, and welcome back to the Take Back Your Damn Life podcast. We're just going to go there. We're going to talk about Eat, Pray, Love today. I literally just watched this movie, and this, fun fact, actually, I don't know if you know this, but my most popular podcast is actually has a massive 8 Mile reference in it, and I kind of wonder if that's the reason why it's so popular, so I'm making another movie reference today. Partially in hopes, I kind of am testing a theory to see if this is equally as popular, but I also massively have a point in today's episode. I kind of always have a point, but I massively have a point in today's episode because we are going to be talking about Dolce far niente, which is a saying from the movie Eat, Pray, Love. Dolce far niente is an Italian saying that Elizabeth Gilbert learns in the movie/book Eat, Pray, Love. And it is basically what it means is it's the sweetness of doing nothing. If you are to look it up on Google, really what it means is it means pleasant idleness. And this is huge for high achievers, huge for us high stress, high achieving, I can't not do things or it drives me fucking crazy type personalities. And I think it's a really, really important thing for us to talk about because, and I just kind of want to recap this scene for you in the movie. So in the movie Eat, Pray, Love, Liz Gilbert is in an Italian barber shop or some shit like that. And she's eating candies and talking to these two men. And in this scene, this guy whose name is legit, Luca Spaghetti is this guy's name. But he tells her, he's like, oh, you Americans, you think you know pleasure and entertainment, but you don't, because every single weekend every single week you burn yourself out working yourself to death, and then you spend your entire weekend, as he says, in your pajamas in front of the TV, is what Luca Spaghetti says in the movie. But his point is that we act like we have to earn these moments of pleasure, these moments of downtime, and that we don't understand what true pleasure is, whereas the Italians do. It was a little American versus Italy competition that was happening in the movie. But the gist of it, I thought, was really, really powerful. When I think about myself, and I think about how I approach downtime, days with no plans, being idle and not producing, I don't know about you, but it's really, really hard for me. So what I really wanted us to talk about today is why that is, kind of have some opportunity to ask some very self-reflective, rhetorical questions, kind of similar to what I did in the last episode, which, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about it. Guys, I'm kind of back to weekly a little bit. I had this burst of energy and enthusiasm, recorded all of these podcast episodes, and we are going to be back to weekly for the foreseeable future, which I'm stoked about. I didn't even think of it when we started this podcast. But anyways, squirrel brain, let's get refocused. What I really want us to do today is to ask ourselves some really, really important and really empowering self-reflective rhetorical questions about why we are this way. What's our mentality about being idle, not producing, having a day with no plans, taking time off? What's our perspective on that? And then I am going to issue a challenge to you at the end of the podcast. So stay tuned for that. We're going to try to keep this short, sweet, and punchy, kind of like the last one, even though I'm a talker. Y'all know this. It's really hard for me to have a podcast episode that's less than 15 minutes, but I'm going to try today because the point of this podcast is very, very straightforward. So the first thing I kind of want to jump into is I want you to think about for yourself, when was the last time you gave yourself a full-on day off? And when I say day off, I am not talking about a day off from work, because hopefully you get one of those every single week. I know for those of us that work full-time jobs and maybe have a side hustle that we're trying to build up, time off is rare. But when was the last time you gave yourself a full-on day off? And when I say that, I'm talking day off from work, but I'm also talking a day off from chores and housekeeping items, a day off of picking up after or prioritizing other people. When was the last time you gave yourself a day where there was nothing on the agenda, no appointments, no chores on the to-do list, nothing? When was the last time you gave yourself that? If you're anything like me, because it's something I very much struggle with, I'm somebody who I feel very fulfilled and like, I don't know, I just feel better when I'm busy and what I'm doing and what I'm producing. And I don't even know necessarily how to articulate where that comes from, but I know this is something that I struggle with. And so for me, this was always a question that was kind of didn't feel very good to address, because for me, the answer to when was the last time you gave yourself this is it's been a really fucking long time. Sometimes months since I gave myself a full-on day off. And I was kind of forced into taking a day off recently because of the fact that I got ill and was dealing with intense bouts of fatigue and vertigo and had to actually kind of cancel a lot of tutoring sessions because of it. As I'm recording this now, I did get COVID tested and I don't have my results as I'm recording this. By the time this podcast goes live, I very well might have my results. So check on Instagram if you're concerned and you want to see whether or not Ellen has COVID. I'm at Coach Ellen, ELLYN on Instagram. But because of the kind of illness I was dealing with, I was kind of forced to just cancel a lot of things. I had a massage scheduled, which I had to cancel. And actually the time that I was supposed to be getting the massage is actually when I went down and got COVID tested. Not the kind of trade I wanted to make, let me tell you. But that entire day, I was really forced into giving myself a full day where I had nothing going on, where I had no plans, where I had no items on the to-do list. The only thing that was on the to-do list was to take care of myself. I was forced into that. But typically, those days are rare. And if I'm being honest, those days for me usually get deprioritized. I usually fill them with something because on some level, I feel like I should fill them with something. I feel like I should be productive. Like we always hear people talk about, oh, you've got to be a productive member of society. And for some of us, we take that very literally, and that we almost interpret it as we need to be producing all the time. But that is literally what's contributing to our burnout. That desire to produce all of the time. So that's the first question I kind of want you to sit there and think about and rhetorically ask yourself, when was the last time you gave yourself a full-on day off? And again, I'm talking about day off from work, day off from housekeeping, from chores, from picking up after and prioritizing other people, and preferably a day where there is literally nothing on the schedule. When was the last time you gave yourself that? And if it's been a while, you're going to love my challenge that I'm going to throw at you later. The next thing I kind of want to move into, though, is why. Why is it for you that you don't give yourself those days off? Why is that? Do you feel like you need to earn downtime, play, and rest? Because that's really what kind of the aha was for me out of this little scene in Eat, Pray, Love. You know, he even said, Americans, you act like you have to earn it. And he literally made a crack about how you see a billboard and it says it's Miller time. So you go buy a 6-pack and you drink the whole thing and you feel terrible the next day. Seriously, this scene's great. You should totally YouTube it. It's Dolce far Niente and Eat, Pray, Love. It's a great scene. But that part about earning it, you feel like you have to earn it. I do. For me, that's really where the desire to produce comes from, is I feel like I have to earn it. Or more so than that, I feel like I need to have nothing that I could be doing, nothing on the to-do list. That's when I feel like I've earned it. But you and I both know that that's really never the case. There's really never a situation in life, let alone in work, where there's nothing on the to-do list. You know, in my case, I always have emails I could check for my tutoring and my students. I always have things I could be doing there. On top of that, I have coaching. There's always something I could be doing for coaching. There is always something I could be working on. You know, content I could be writing, podcasts I could be recording. Like literally there is always something I could do. And on top of that, just think about, you know, I don't know, cleaning your apartment or taking out the trash or doing laundry or whatever. There's literally always going to be something on the to-do list. You know, as things start to open up or maybe shut back down, depending upon where you are, there are going to be plans that come up. People who want to see you, who want to talk to you. There is literally always going to be something that you could be doing. And that's why that's such a dangerous mentality, especially for me, when the mentality seems to be there has to be nothing else I could be doing. It's almost like we associate laziness with weakness or, you know, somebody who's not going to be successful. Or is it even laziness? It's almost like you have to be productive to be worthy, right? Maybe that's what it is for all of us. I almost feel like I'm processing this as I'm talking it to you guys. But that's really the next step is once you realize that this is a problem for you, that you really don't give yourself full-on days off, then kind of asking yourself, why is it? Do you feel like you need to earn it? Is productivity worthiness to you? Do you feel like you can't play or rest until there's nothing else you could be doing? And as you say that, can you recognize, like literally, I don't care, talk to me in your car, whatever. People might think you're crazy as they're watching you, but that's okay. That's okay. We're friends here, right? I want you to kind of nod or verbalize to me, is that mentality okay? How does it make you feel to know that you literally won't let yourself play and rest on occasion? Maybe not all the time. Like, we're not talking about blanket statements here, but you won't let yourself play and rest until you've gotten everything done. Does that seem reasonable? Does that seem unfair? Would you hold anybody in your life to that standard? Probably not, right? So we've kind of been walking into this, asking you, when was the last time you gave yourself a full-on day off? A day with no plans. How long has it been? And if it's been freaking forever, ask yourself why that is. Do you feel like you need to earn it? Do you feel like productivity is worthiness for you? And is that mentality and that attitude serving you? And if you recognize that it's not, if you're nodding along with me right now, this is the point in the episode where I am going to issue a challenge to you. A challenge that, if this is something you struggled with, is going to be hard as fuck. We're just going to acknowledge that right now. I almost said AF, but we're just going to drop the F-bomb. It's going to be hard as fuck. I want you, if there's any action item that comes out of today for you, if this was a big aha for you of realizing that, shit, I fill my life with vastly too much productivity, what I want you to do is I want you to schedule a day with no plans. Literally, get your calendar out right now, whether we're talking paper planner, which you should check out my Take Back Your Time planner if you haven't, but whether we're talking paper planner or Google Calendar here, I want you to schedule a day with no plans. Maybe it's a Saturday. Schedule a day with no plans. Tell your significant other, your hubby, your children, whatever. Tell them, nope, this is my me day. I've literally called these me days. I did it all the time when I was in graduate school. I've gotten away from it. But I want you to schedule that day. No plans get made that day. The only exception I will say to that rule of no plans is if it's something that feels incredibly rejuvenating, like some incredibly good self-care, like going to get a massage, which I know there are probably maybe not a ton of places that are open to give you a massage, but if you've got places open, you want to go get a massage, something like that, I would say that's an okay plan to have. But otherwise, this is a day for you. this is a day, and I would encourage you not to necessarily spend time with other people on this day, unless it feels good. Honestly, this is a day, when I say a day with no plans, it's really a day where there's nothing productive happening. You're not checking anything off the to-do list. I generally approach this as a day where I'm by myself. I'm introverting. But honestly, my introversion, I'm lonely, even as an introvert, and I'm craving social interaction, even as an introvert. So given the state that we're in right now, I would say approach this as a day with no plans, but fill it with things that just feel good, that aren't box checking, that aren't chores, that really aren't serving any productive purpose, but are just filling you up. That is kind of my perspective on Dolce far niente, the sweetness of doing nothing. This pleasant idleness notion is giving yourself a day with no plans. That's really how I think we as high achievers can approach this. And it's so, so important to do this. And once you've done it once, I would highly encourage you, if you kind of want a bonus challenge, schedule this for yourself at least on a monthly basis, preferably on like a bi-weekly basis, where you give yourself that day with no plans, because so damn often, so many of us even fill our weekends with all the things, all the chores, all the to-do lists. And that is not how we're operating in this Dolce far niente, day with no plans kind of mindset here. It is about pure joy. It is about not doing what you quote unquote should do, but doing what feels good to do. That's the whole purpose and point of this. Really just dipping into that mindset of pleasure, of joy, of filling yourself back up, of rejuvenation. That's what this is all about. And if you are kind of live in this mindset like I've struggled with, where you struggle to give yourself that day off, you feel like you need to earn it, you feel like your worthiness is dependent upon your productivity, this is going to be even more important for you. So we're taking a page from Eat, Pray, Love today. We're going to have some Dolce far niente for ourselves, have that day with no plans, and try to take those incremental steps forward away from feeling like we have to earn it, because we don't. Life is meant to be enjoyed, and we need to give ourselves more days that are like that. So I hope you got something out of this. I hope it resonated with you. And I've got to say, if you're finding yourself struggling, if you're finding yourself really just feeling like this is not going to be a one-time fix for you, that this is a really big suck on your fulfillment, your ability to have fun and feel like you're free in your life. If you feel like a slave to your work and that you can't get off this hamster wheel on your own, this hamster wheel of needing to produce, needing to do all the damn time, then head on over to coachellen.com/coaching and check out one-on-one coaching. I cannot tell you how much I get what you're going through, but also how there is a way out, and I've helped guide other women through this as well. So head on over to Coach Ellen, that's ELLYN.com/coaching, or head on over to Instagram, again, at Coach Ellen, and DM me. Let me know. Let me support you through this. Let me even just give you some tips to kind of get you going. Let me be that shoulder for you to cry on, that ear to listen to you, because I get it. I've been there, and I've helped so many other women through that same feeling, and I want to help you as well. So definitely take that opportunity, either heading over to coachellen.com/coaching or DMing me over on Instagram so that I can support you through this, because I get this isn't an easy mentality shift to make. Hell, I've made it before and had to kind of retrace my steps and get back to where I was before. And I want to help you do that too. So with that, yep, now we're really going there. I will talk to you next time, friend. And until then, don't forget, it's on you to take back your damn life. But before you go, one last thing. If you enjoyed the hell out of this episode, there's a couple things you could do. Podcasts grow and thrive because of you, the listener. You help me and my guests spread this message of taking back your damn life. And so I would appreciate it if you would share this episode. Maybe you have a friend that you think absolutely would love it. You could also rate the podcast, submit a review, or just share a screenshot on your Instagram story so that I can shout you out and send you a huge thank you. Otherwise, that's really it for now. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, friend, go take back your damn life.